came to Kenya and I want to run things, I want to feel quote unquote respected, treated better, zero disrespect, or even no man being like calling you. And I just want an easy day. I just want a degree of respect from, especially from like contractors as you're doing your day-to-day life, and even better in government offices, really. So this day I decided, you know what, I'm gonna wear my hijab and run my whole day errands in my hijab. Let me tell you, everything went smooth. Government offices to your call, there's no quote unquote harassment. People just treat you in a different way. Like, this is one thing that I love about the Somali people, and the fact that their life is kind of a little bit easier in that way. They call me the advocate of Africa, so I call myself, maybe I made that up. Anyway, but I'm really a big advocate of people knowing their country, not like just knowing something about their country, knowing something about the other country, and that is what it's called about. Traveling exposes you. Traveling opens up your mind, and traveling makes you know better and be informed. I recently was having a chit chat with a friend, and they were like, you know, like I was thinking about what country am I going to next. Then I mentioned South Africa. Okay, then they were like, South Africa is just next door. And where they point, I was like, what do you mean South Africa is just next door? I pulled out a map, like I have a map in my house. I pulled up a map and I was like, show me where South Africa is. And you won't believe it, that this person showed me West Africa. I was like West Africa is here, East Africa is there, South Africa is there. And like South Africa is, Cape Town is the root on the map of Africa. So I was really surprised that unfortunately or fortunately we might not know these things. Like some of the most basic things that I think people know actually do not know. And today we're gonna be reacting on what people know about like different places in Africa. Like for example, if someone asked you what's the capital city of Ethiopia, or what do you know about Ethiopia? I was in Ethiopia and I did ask people what the capital city is of Nairobi, and what's the capital city of Kenya, and many people knew Nairobi. Many people actually know Nairobi and Mombasa. Like they immediately, you say you're from Kenya, they are like Nairobi, Mombasa. Or there was also another thing that they love to say is, are you brothers? You are our brothers and sisters. Anyway, so before we get into the Ethiopia one, let's start with Somalia. What can you say about Somalia? Is it in the east, in the west, in the south? You know, like, do you know? Yeah, it's in East Africa. And let's do this. Of course, you know Somalia, the capital city is Mogadishu. And let me also give you some context, yeah? I really did not like history in high school. I did not like geography in high school. Like these two were not, I was a science girl, mathematics, come on, I have a whole degree in mathematics. What are you telling me? I didn't care for history and geography. But as you travel and as you interact with the world, as you come into the economics, depending on whatever business that you're doing, there is some influence on whatever country that these things have to do. And sometimes you don't need to travel for you to get this information. You can just watch a video like this one and also subscribe to this channel, and you'll get to know a lot more about Africa. And you can also go check me out on Quindesta, where I take you through my trips around the world.
What is the capital city of Somalia?
I said, hold up, wait a minute. Something.
At this point, I'm just like, please get it right. Please don't embarrass yourself on the streets.
Ain't right. Hey, y'all, come look at this.
It's
Juba.
Juba.
What are you saying? What are you saying? What is he saying?
Juba is not the capital city of Somalia. Sorry. I love putting people on the spot. So my editor, what is the capital city? What capital city is Juba? What country is that?
South Sudan.
Hey, smart. Yes, smart. You'll be fired today. Anyway, but also, can we give credit to people on the street? Sometimes when you're put on the spot, it can disappear sometimes. But it's good, like your name does not disappear, right? So there are still some things that cannot disappear. And even on the minimum, people should at least know at least capital cities of Eastern African countries. Just on the basic. That's all. Don't need to know much more. That's enough. Yeah.
How are you?
Very fine, thank you.
What's your name?
Innocent Baraza.
Innocent.
Yeah, Innocent.
Oh, that's a
So he didn't get it right. So the capital city of Somalia is Mogadishu, and the capital city of South Sudan is Juba. Let's see if this one gets the capital city of Ethiopia.
Oh, that's an interesting name.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, so today we're asking Kenyans, first of all, do you know the country Ethiopia?
Yeah, Ethiopia, the immediate neighbors. Yeah.
How else do you know them?
They are some of the best marathon runners in the whole world.
This is actually very, very true. Very, very true. And you know what? Here in Kenya, we don't care for athletes like this. Well, maybe Eliud Kipchoge when he's running. It's rarely that we are like, you know what, I gotta go watch a certain, unless it's like, I don't know, very few compared to like football. Football like soccer and running. More people, like the majority of people, Kenyans, would go watch football/soccer, that we have zero. Sometimes we are not present. Even many people won't watch like AFCON, like African things and stuff like this. They'll even watch AFCON more before they watch the running. Correct me if you think I am wrong, but I know what I'm talking about. But in Ethiopia, if a run is happening, if a race is happening, we are watching we go to hotels, we are watching them running and being like, you Kenyans, we got this, we are gonna compete against you. And in Ethiopia, unlike here in Kenya, many Kenyans don't know that Ethiopians are really good runners, but many Ethiopians do know that Kenyans are really good runners because they support the art. There's a lot, always like race, not like long runs within the city. What are they called? The name is disappearing. But yeah, this is really nice. Of course, in Ethiopia, we also have to talk about, if you talk about Eliud Kipchoge, then you also talk about people like Haile Gebrselassie. Though he doesn't run anymore, but he was one really good runner.
They're one of the best. And also, they were never colonized.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Facts. They were never colonized. They don't celebrate independence. They celebrate Adwa Day, which is the day that they won against the Italians. Yes.
They are the only country in Africa that was not colonized. That's very beautiful about them.
If in my life I was taken to these trips, maybe when I was in high school, maybe history would have ended up being my favorite country, my favorite subject, because I'll be understanding these things more than just in theory. But now I'm very happy because I get to have conversations with my dad. Before I used to be like, I don't get it, Dad. But now we get to talk about Hawassa, we get to talk about the mountains, Lalibela, like different things, because experiences. Yeah,
and they're beautiful people. Yeah, they're beautiful people.
Okay, so the next question I'm going to ask you is, do you know the capital city of Ethiopia?
Let's have it.
Which is it?
you cannot know all these things about Ethiopia and fail to know the capital city of Ethiopia. Really? So better get it right.
Addis Ababa.
Addis Ababa.
Yeah, Addis Ababa.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I'm sure.
You know the country Somalia?
Yeah, of course.
What do you know about them, or what have you heard about the country?
So what would I say I know about Somalia? It has the most percentage of the Indian Ocean. I know Somalis are mostly Muslim, and that influences a lot of the things that they do. And it's also very interesting on how religion does influence the cultures and the way of people doing life. Yeah, but on that note, when you come to Kenya, do you think about religion? Not really, but you can still see the effects here and there, maybe. Anyway, let's see what they have to say.
Somalia. When I hear Somalia, I see in Kenya we have Somalians, people from Somalia, and
It's very true, very, very true. There's some places you go to here in Kenya and you're like, did I leave Kenya? It's so funny. It's so funny that I went to Isli Eastleigh, they were full of Somalis. And then I went to Parklands mostly Parklands, it's full of Indians. And then I happened to visit Sarit, it was full of Chinese during an exhibition. And I'm like, where are the Kenyans in Kenya? Where are the Kenyans? Anyway, they are still Kenyans, I'm joking. But it was a moment of being like, yeah, we have many foreigners in Kenya and communities of people in different places, like, yeah.
They are called the Oria, you know. So when I hear Somalia, I see their people, because we have a lot of them in Nairobi, Kenya, in a place called Eastleigh. There are so many. So when I hear Somalia, I see them. I see their people, you know. Yeah, they have they are a little bit different compared to.
But I would love to know in the comment section down below, to you as a Somali, if you're watching this, can you please educate me? Is there a difference between a Somali that lives in Eastleigh who's a Kenyan and a Somali who is a Somali from Somalia? Let me know in the comment section down below. I do know there's like different, like they are not all, there could be, they are Somalis, but they have like subdivisions within them in terms of like tribes and stuff like this. But educate me more.
Us native Kenyans, our hair is hard. My hair is hard, guys, and theirs is like smooth, and it looks like those of the white people, you know. Yeah. They are not white, but their hair is not as hard as ours.
All right.
Yeah.
And have you ever mingled with any Somalis here in Kenya?
Have I mingled with Somalis? Absolutely, I have mingled with Somali, but Somali, in that case, I'm now confused if you're talking about Somali people here in Kenya or Somalis. Make sense? And not Somalilanders, because those ones I've definitely interacted with.
Yeah, I have mingled with Somalis in Nairobi, Eastleigh. They call it the Little Mogadishu. Yeah, so I've mingled with them, and they are good businessmen and women, because Nairobi is a business hub in Kenya, and they know business. So when you ask me about Somalis, the first thing that comes to my mind is business, because they own a lot of businesses in Kenya, and they are doing so well. So
I'm keen to know, is this the same case in Somalia? Like, you know, where everyone is coming from, you know? Can I give an example? If you know Kenyans for running, yeah, does not mean all Kenyans run, right? So we could know Somalis who are in Kenya for business, maybe because it was well established and passed on to people and stuff like this. What about in Somalia? Does it make everyone a business person, or how is the business world going on in Somalia?
mingled with them in the line of business, maybe buying stuff from their shops. Yeah.
Okay. And from the...
Let me tell you, I think it's this, I mean, not say, if you go to Eastleigh and you're there as a retail buyer and you want to buy one pair of shoes and they don't sell less than 3 pairs, we're not selling, that's it, done, go, mind your business. Well, I'm just saying, it's going to Eastleigh is an interesting affair. I always say, if you want an experience, go visit Eastleigh. Maybe go buy curtains, go buy hijabs, whatever. Just go buy something, shoes, anything. It will, yeah, it's an interesting place to be at. But as they said, it's a business hub. Like, there's a lot of money that is circulating in that town. It's crazy. It's crazy that they now build what is now being said to be the biggest mall in Nairobi. Well, whew.
The ones that you've mingled them, what is your impression of them, or what do you think about the Somali people?
Somali people are nice.
I would say Somali people are loud. This facts. According to me, Somali people are loud. Whether they are storytelling or they are arguing or whatever is going on, like, they are loud. Even worse, don't even be in a situation where you have to confront each other, because it's gonna go like you can't say anything. They'll just be there being like, hey, I will call the whole world, something like this. But anyway, this is my opinion.
They're nice, and the impression that comes to my mind about them is that they're business minded most of the time.
Okay.
Because in Kenya, you can rarely meet Somalis idle, you know.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
No, actually, but then if you choose to say that, then that's fine. This is your opinion. Fine.
These guys are busy. They are always having big shops. They are selling a lot of stuff.
On that note, let me guys give you a story of my life. Yeah, sometimes in Kenya, but then you know, if you say your secrets and they go out there, then you're exposed, right? Anyway, this is Damaris. When I visited Somali country, or like Muslim countries, I enjoy the hijab experience. And when I came to Kenya and I want to run things, I want to feel quote unquote respected, treated better, zero disrespect, or even no man being like calling you. And I just want an easy day. I just want a degree of respect from, especially from like contractors as you're doing your day-to-day life, and even better in government offices, really. So this day I decided, you know what, I'm gonna wear my hijab and run my whole day errands in my hijab. Let me tell you, everything went smooth. Government offices, you're called, there's no quote-unquote harassment. People just treat you in a different way. Like, this is one thing that I love about the Somali people, and the fact that their life is kind of a little bit easier in that way. Anyway, you go try, then come tell me.
And most of them are rich, guys. Most of them are rich because people who work constantly and they are pushing their businesses, they must be rich. Most of them, actually a good portion of them are rich in Kenya. The ones who are not rich are just a small portion. Most of them are rich. So when you ask me about...
Well, let me know in the comment section if you agree that most Somalis are rich. But then, you know, the other part that we are missing out on this conversation is we are talking about Somalia, not the Somalis in Little Mogadishu here in Isli. So I'd love to know from someone who's been to Somalia. I've not been to Somalia, maybe one day. Maybe one day. Anyway, yeah, so let me know. Educate us. Are all of you guys rich? Where do you get your money from? Teach us your ways.
Somali, the other thing that comes to my mind is wealth, because they know businesses, and you can, if you go to their businesses, you can find a father with their son, with the wife, brothers, yani the extended family working together, and that's the mind of someone who wants to achieve stuff in life.
Yeah, so there's a point you mentioned.
In comparison to other countries that have moved to Kenya, well, especially African countries, I have to say Somalis have really done a good job in terms of positioning themselves and growing their businesses. Yeah, and taking over Kenya. Ha ha ha.
That a lot of them are hardworking, and you can rarely see a Somali who's idle. And what I want to add to that is, I don't know if I'm correct, or I don't know if you've ever seen, I've never seen here in Kenya, or let's just say Nairobi, a beggar who's Somali.
Apparently I have. Actually, there was a video trending of Mike Stonko helping a Somali family that was on a street begging. Okay, you can go check that out and then, yeah, confirm with me. Maybe I could be the one who's wrong, but I did see that.
Have you?
Whew, we could say so many things in relation to this, but for now, let's hold up. We want some good positive vibes, so yeah.
Okay, it's difficult, but I've seen a few of them.
Okay,
but
I've seen there are several. Come to Westgate, unfortunately. Now, why are we talking about begging? Come to Westgate. Outside there, you'll find there are several Somali ladies, unfortunately.
A portion of Somalis are entrepreneurs. They really work so hard. Yeah.
All right. So, and if you're given an opportunity to visit Somalia, is it something you'd consider?
I have never thought of visiting Somalia.
So the perspective about Somalia here in Kenya is a whole different story. So before this year, I really used to be like, maybe one day I will sweet talk my mother to allow me to visit Somalia. Because when I said I want to be a world traveler, one country that she was like, please don't go to Somalia. One country that she was like, please don't go to Somalia. And I was like, I want to go to all the countries, so I don't promise I'm not gonna go to Somalia. You guys are my friends. I'm now here singing what I'm talking. Anyway, I mean, I used to consider to want to go to Somalia, but until this year, and someone so close in my life was applying for a visa to go to Somalia, and they went through stress. I'm now rethinking about this whole idea, but for now, let's hold it up there.
Honestly, when we talk about visiting countries in Africa, the first countries that come to my mind is Rwanda, Uganda. I have never thought of Somalia and Ethiopia. I don't know why.
Oh, even Ethiopia he's never thought of visiting. I feel like, according to me, and especially from the Eastern, being an Eastern African, I'd think Somalia is the last country that many people want to visit. And the main reason I ever considered to visit Somalia was so that I can be a voice on how true or how not true the situation that we see on the media is, and how bad can it be, you know. But I've really had so many stories of people having issues when it comes to the visa that it makes me feel like, am I sure I want to go through this? Do I just visit all the 196 countries and then can't finish with Somalia? I'm not saying that's the case. Before I start applying for the visa, and then they're like, record this video, you said this is the last country. Anyway, I'm just saying, but we never know. This is life, you know. I've seen so many things happening in life that I never would have thought would have happened. Hey, yeah, but so far we've been to Somaliland, just for the record, and I'm glad I did go. With the same thought, I would for sure go to Somalia.
But I think growing up, this is not a shade to Somalia, but growing up here in Kenya, we'd see our president send the army to Somalia.
Told you about what the media has done in relation to Somalia, which I'm happy for content creators and I'm happy for social media, because then we get to see even like the individuals that live in those countries portraying what is the true life of the country, and like what the media would decide to be like, you know what, we are gonna showcase this. Someone keeps joking about they will fly, like for example, into Kenya. Let's even forget about Somalia. They will land into Kenya, be driven around in Land Cruisers, sleep in hotels like Movenpick, Kempinski and the like, not take a clip, wait until they make it to Turkana in a madhouse. That's when they pull out the camera. Anyway, let me know in the comment section if you agree to this perspective of what the media has done. Anyway, media has power, unfortunately. Wow, it is what it is.
You know, because of the, I do not want to mention the specific name, the terror units in their countries, just to protect our borders to the East African borders to Somalia. So most of the time I've seen the units of Kenya being pushed to Somalia to try and maintain peace and order. So in a way, as a Kenyan, I'd be afraid to go to Somalia. That's why it has even never crossed my mind that I'd want to go to Somalia, but I'd really want to explore the world. If an opportunity comes that wants me to go to Somalia, I'd definitely go. But honestly, I'd be so cautious, because in the media, you see, there's always one bad thing about the media. The media tends to show people the negative side rather than
We just talked about this. Things like these guys in the same spirit that we're talking about,
than the positive side. So I have not gotten to know anything good about Somalia. I only see of bad news when it comes to Somalia. So if our media could embrace showing both sides, I'd really want to go to Somalia too, because naturally I'd love to explore the world, meet new people, new cultures, food. Yeah.
So let me know in the comment section down below, would you want to go to Somalia? Is it a country that if you are given a chance to visit, all factors withdrawn, for sure I would want to go to Somalia. I still think one day I'll go. This is me being honest. I still think one day I'll make it there. the way I know Damaris and the way I know how she loves to explore into adventure, I still think one day I have all these factors in my head that are like, don't go, but I also have this other side, is like, just go. So we'll see what life has in store. Keep it rocked here or on my main channel, Damaris Jenga. Okay, well, Queen Desta, if you search both names you'll find me by Queen Desta, and we will see what adventure we get up to. Anyway, I hope you like this react video. Let me know between Kenya, Somalia, and Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia, which country are you visiting first and in which order? Okay, start, type. Okay, thank you, subscribe.